Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolfside channel. Today with a very special topic, always special, the Archery Damage. So a few people wished exactly for this. To clarify that a little bit, so to break the first myth immediately, strength doesn't give you more archery damage. Strength can give you more archery damage when you're using a better bow that requires maybe a little bit more strength. And to break the second myth, no, dexterity has no impact on bow damage whatsoever, but it can increase the weak spot chance by a low amount. But the good thing is that dexterity is giving you a little bit of a stamina boost, but it's insignificantly in archery anyway, because when you're having a bow that is drawing so much stamina, that you are getting out of stamina, then you're using the wrong bow. So now that we have broken down the myths, now to the actual facts of how you can increase your archery damage. So first things first, your Zoology Lore, for example. When you are hunting down animals, you do a lot more damage when you have the Zoology Lore for the exact animal. For example, Mammalia here. So in Mammalia is the profession skill Keratomorpha, for example. This is for Molvas. Just for example, this is for Molvas. And in the skill description is damage and defense for creatures in this group. So we tested this over 2 years ago, and this wasn't the case because it was bugged and it wasn't working and stuff in some cases. Then we tested it again, Starboard fixed it, and now it seems to work. I haven't tested it myself, but a few people were reporting that it's like 20% more damage. But I mean, this is only archery damage when you don't do PvP. This is for PvE. This is, by the way, also for melee fighting. This also works for melee fighting, not only for archers. So another very important factor that I have often seen with new players or also new Twitch streamers that are trying out the game, they just don't get it right. You need to wait until the circle is, until you have fully drawn your bow, or you don't do all the damage. I mean, this is just a no-brainer, but I think I need to say it here again. But you can also see in the footage here that sometimes Frahead is also drawing this bow and not directly to the end, but he really forces himself to really have the full drawn circle, because this is very important. When you're letting out the bow, even at 98%, you will do a lot less damage. Then another very important factor in the archery damage is the weak spot chance. You can see it here. He shoots in the head of the horse and it does enormous damage, and this is very important, not because this is just a relic bow, but you're doing a lot more damage when you're just having your marksmanship skilled. And for a mounted archer, for a very skilled mounted archer that really knows how to aim, I mean, you need to practice your player skill, you need to practice yourself in shooting better with a bow and aiming to the heads of people. Aiming is very hard, but shooting like at these horses and stuff like he's doing here, this is at least possible to learn over years. And another very important factor, at least in the modern archery, is the trinkets, of course. And this is more or less, it also depends on who you ask, a paywall. But just for example, when you're having a ring with 9% piercing damage and then another ring with 9% piercing damage, this is a lot. This is a lot. You will notice that. Hardcore. Then one of the most important factors, if it works, to skill the 20% draw speed in the mastery tree. The thing is, I've made a video about this and tested this, and there was no difference at all. This skill was bugged and broken and didn't work. I now haven't tested it again, but I also watched in the old patch notes, and there wasn't this listed. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, is it now fixed or not? I don't know. My last info was that there is now a little bit difference, but it's not 20%. But again, I can't confirm it currently. I can't confirm it. I've already asked that in the content creator Discord, but when I'm getting an official answer, then I will post it in the description and in the comments. So another no-brainer, more or less, is that you skill the marksmanship weak spot chance increase, that you skill the bow draw speed, like I said before, of course, and then the damage to the untamed AI when you're fighting against a lot of PvE mobs and stuff, and also, of course, the piercing damage increase, because this is also for archery, not only for melee. This chart is not 100% accurate, but you can see that for using longbow arrows you can't crit, but with broadhead arrows you can crit. When you're using a longbow and using broadhead arrows, you can also crit with a longbow. Of course, it also depends on the material, the bow type, your strength, and many other factors, but in general. Critting is not possible with a longbow arrow, but critting with a broadhead arrow or a bodkin arrow is possible. For every new player who's watching, I mean with critting weak spot, making a weak spot chance. Weak spot is the crit in Mortal. Another very important factor is then when you're riding on a mount and using a bow, you're doing only 50% of damage. But when you are having skilled 100 mounted archery, you are not gaining directly piercing damage, but then you are making the exact 100% damage you would when you are on foot and having your normal archery skill 100 and stuff. Also, one little side note here, shooting in water will reduce your damage, and shooting from water out of water is also reducing your damage. Then, not directly damage related, but reducing stamina drain while holding a pulled bow. As you have seen in the video, sometimes you just need to aim at least a few seconds, so this is also very good. So even godlike archers like Frahead need that. But if you can directly shoot each 2 seconds directly into your target without holding this, then you don't need the skill in any way. This directly leads to our next one, the controlled aiming. Yes, a lot of people don't know that when you're holding the left control key, you can actually hold your breath and you don't wiggle so much on your mount when you're aiming at someone. Or the left alt key, I don't know where it is on the standard configuration, I'm always forgetting. But yes, a lot of people don't need this skill because often also people forget that this technique actually exists to hold your breath, because a few seconds after that you wiggle a little bit more. And last but not least, the archery skill. I mean, okay, yeah. I hope you liked this video. Please leave a like and subscribe, would be really awesome, by the way. And please share it with archers or people who want to be archers. And special thanks to all the supporters, of course. Carmel, Lucario, Ronus, Paternax, Colum, Bulldog, and all the others, of course. And make archery damage hard. I mean, make party hard, make party hard. And see you all next time. Goodbye.